regarding using obviously that social media in a balanced way, there's also, I think, a really important topic we need to talk about is identity now, and that change of identity between your generation and my generation. What I mean by that essentially is that I feel obviously throughout life, regardless of what era you're born in, you discover yourself and then you present that discovery to the people around you. And I feel previously in your time, that kind of presentation of yourself was to your locality, it was to your friends, it was to your family, your parents, teachers, etc. Now that presentation has kind of gone up 100-fold. You're presenting through social media, through the kind of, the form of posts and stories. You're getting feedback not just through personal interactions, but through likes, through comments. And I wonder if that's actually really helping us find ourselves, or if it's just kind of making us perform for others. So the question I have to you, Baba, is how do you feel that developing an identity online differs from developing one in a largely offline world?
Well, in offline world, because people would be knowing each other through personal interaction. That was through the word of mouth. So I've heard that person is good or bad, or otherwise, whoever you know in your local geography, those are the people you'll be interacting, or people who see you in that geography. So perception of a person, who he is, the identity they created of themselves or other people saw it, was one, it was real because it was personal interaction, and it wasn't out there all the time either. So of course, when you are going and somebody misunderstood you or something else, so you had time to come and kind of make them understand that's what you meant or something or the other. So identity was kind of slow paced. You will build it over a period of time, and a part of it was inherited, part of it you would make through your work, education, and the type of person you are. But now through social media, especially the people who are active on social media, of course, even today, not everyone is posting or trying to create an identity online. But this particular part is for people who actually actively engage on social media and put themselves out there that this is what they are. One, it is very global, so anybody would know whatever you're saying. And second, it is out there. So there's no kind of going back. Once you portray yourself in a certain way, then that's what you are. And secondly, people sometimes fake it as well. So they curate certain experiences and you would notice many people originally they are something else, and they'll try to kind of put a different image of themselves online. And I know many people who do that. So it can be very fake, and that, I think social media has created that lack of, because everybody, if I know and you know, everybody else knows as well that people can be fake. And the trust on the social identity of somebody online, I feel is not, and after especially AI has come, is quite weak. It does affect people to understand how somebody is, but still the trust of it is still weak. That's I think all I would say on this.
So, but obviously there are a lot of these kind of false narratives then being portrayed through social media. And a lot of these false narratives, in fact, oddly enough, the most false narratives tend to sometimes be the most influential. It's weird how negative kind of media can often get pushed quite heavily through an algorithm because it's what people tend to respond the most to. And then obviously as a result, that feedback, those likes, those comments, those shares, once you see it on something like that, it's going to influence you as a result as well. There's a lot of young people that get influenced by negative media because they see this is what brings attention, this is what people are valuing.